Traders, welcome back to some more analysis. Hope you're enjoying the extended weekend. While we have a day off, let's talk some general market macros. Let's look at the S&P. We've seen some interesting movement over the past few days, and let's see what we can see from that through, you guessed it, the algorithms. I want to look at the short term, meaning the past few weeks of uptrend, and then I want to look at a higher picture and see how it all comes together. So let's just, for now, draw out the strong buying that we were respecting for some time here. This yellow algorithm, you can see that we respected for quite a little bit, very strong. And what I want to point out is more recently, clearly we see that we started to taper along something. We can make this green and see that this green that we are pointing out here started to take control over yellow. Yes, we were still in yellow. You can see that we weren't actually respecting and buying up yellow. We started to respect and buy alongside this green. And what did that allow us to do? If we go to a lower time frame, we could see that proof of green on both the buy side and sell side allowed us to break out of yellow and subsequently see where we are at now. Let's go back to the higher time frame. I want to point in and plug in a little bit of a higher time frame algorithm here, and I want to look back. Obviously, with the algorithms, we always look back because they repeat. And I always want to find the higher time frame tapered and controlled selling algorithm, right? This is the bullish liquidity builder that we use in order to break upward, right? So we can plug this in many times in the past and see that this is the algorithm used in a bullish way, right, to break us upward. So if we take this same algorithm and we just kind of want to get an idea of where we're at currently with it, obviously, you can see a few things. I actually want to just edit this algorithm a little bit just to make it a little bit steeper if we're looking to align with this past trend here. Just make it a little bit steeper. That looks good. And we can see we're at beautifully the top of it. If we then go ahead and plug this into the lower time frame area where we saw we had a large gap up, we can see that we proved it on the buy side before then gapping up and making a bullish move out of it. So we want to be cognizant that no matter what we're seeing here on the lower time frame with this green algorithm, with this yellow algorithm, we do have this more tapered higher time frame selling algorithm that can still be building liquidity, right? If we see price come down to this white algorithm and want to prove that and then prove it on the buy side, we'll likely see a bullish move up. So where do we go from here? Well, let's go back down to a lower time frame. And let's just take the same green algorithm that we've been seeing as a liquidity builder, a bearish liquidity builder, move up in this tapered algorithm to dump down. Let's just plug it in to where we're currently at and where we're seeing bearish movement, right? We're seeing that this liquidity builder is beautifully building liquidity in green, proving it, and then dumping down, right? So this is kind of a great trick to the market that we can constantly use to see, are we building a bullish liquidity or a bearish liquidity? Here we can see clearly building a bearish liquidity. Not only that, we can also plug in what we're now respecting, which is our strong red selling. Right? We are now not only building a bearish liquidity up and then dumping down, but we are respecting and coming from the top of red to the bottom of red to the top of red. Well, what can we expect to the bottom of red, right? So this is a very good lower time frame trick. Obviously also happens on the higher time frames. But I want to keep in mind that if we are seeing the progression happening, we want to plug in this higher time frame buying, this more tapered buying that we've seen respected as well. We want to be wary that we are coming towards the bottom of that. This is a good opportunity potentially for a relief move, right? Find red and then try and come up and prove or disprove yellow by proving red. So that means coming up, proving red, buying up red, and then getting rejected again. Could be all the way up here in the higher time frame or all-time high range to come up to red and prove red. Once we reject off red here, that's an all-in telling us that we are no longer respecting yellow. We're going to not only dump out of yellow, but we'll likely dump out of red, and we have an idea of where we'll head on the lower time frame. So we're seeing some pretty consistent algorithms here at play. Obviously, always competing algorithms at play as well. So we want to be wary of this white liquidity builder. Would make a lot of sense that we want to close this gap so we could potentially see a rundown of this breakout of red and close this higher time frame gap, and then use this as a liquidity build up back towards white. So a bunch of different scenarios can happen, but what we can focus on right now is just this lower time frame liquidity building green, dumping us green, dumping us. As long as we're respecting this stronger selling red, we kind of have an idea of where we're going to continue heading down to the bottom of red. Now, once we start to see tapering on a higher time frame, so that can look like something like this, right? If we come down, and yes, we could come down to the bottom of red, we can also see that this purple is now being respected as well, right? So we can see ourselves potentially building liquidity in this purple while on the lower time frame selling down something strong like red. So a lot to be looking out for in the next few days. If this is one large liquidity build for a larger dump, we'll want to see something like this prove itself, right? A very tapered higher time frame buying. We'll make it a little bigger. Let's keep an eye on it. And what that could potentially mean, obviously, could mean a much larger push down to prove this green. We're not seeing that because we're not seeing it respect on the sell side, so we're not really too worried about that right now. But if we want to plug this into kind of the lower time frame movements, we can see that this can potentially be a lower time frame move down to green here, and then have to prove green before coming down even further. So again, a lot of algorithms to keep an eye out for here. Let's go down up to an hourly again, just to continue seeing this larger picture. And we can delete all the small stuff and just focus on these higher time frame algorithms here. So let's go back to our recent big move down, our recent big bearish move. And we can see that happening back in February where we started this downtrend. We could see that came in a very strong selling algorithm, such as this green, sorry, let's make it red, right? So let's kind of plug this in. We want to see if we're seeing something similar to that. And potentially we are seeing this same red. This looks very steep here, right? We're potentially seeing that start to play out as well on this lower time frame. And this can be this can have a widening effect because, again, we have also a more tapered, on the bigger picture, a more tapered, we'll take this to orange, playing out above the red. So again, also we can see this starting to form as well, and we can see that playing out here. So again, we always look back to see what's happening. This looks eerily similar to me as far as starting to create this orange, more tapered selling algorithm, using a red to get to the bottom of it, and then breaking out of red to come back to orange. And once we're proving orange, we know what to expect from there. We can plug in our red again and look for that to start taking price down again. And then from there, obviously, once we proved orange to come down to the bottom of orange, we initiated something very strong here. This was the real sell-off. I don't even have a color for this, right? We're not really expecting to see that so quickly. But that you can kind of see as a almost a liquidity grab down to levels, take out all the liquidity, come into this big area of demand, which we did. And from there, we obviously see a large relief rally that recently happened, over 10%. So yeah, a lot to look out for. I wish it was easier than what we're making it. But keys here are to keep an eye out for this cup, this lower time frame cup that we're closing, potential handle that we can see up to orange. If we respect and prove orange as a selling channel, we can see a sharp drop from there. So we can see this handle being built here, maybe a breakout of red, get some buyers involved, prove orange, and then make our way right back down to red, right back down to orange, right? And then start to respect red again, etc., until we find a higher time frame selling liquidity builder to start building liquidity for the upside. So this is what I'm seeing on the S&P. Definitely, at least we can see a small relief rally, but at least expecting some sort of large push down, and we'll keep up to date as price develops. Happy trading all, and enjoy the long weekend.